Okay, so let's go to the final part of the final question of the timed test 1, the practice paper 1, past paper in the back of the revision workbook for Edexcel GCSE Computer Science. It's probably most helpful if I just put the solution in here and explain where the marks come from. So it says a transport company pays its drivers an annual bonus. That'd be nice. That means extra money every year. Full-time drivers are paid £100 for each year of service. That means how many years they've worked, up to a maximum of £500. Part-time drivers are paid £50 for every full 100 hours worked, up to a maximum of 300. And we've got to complete a flowchart. Right, so let's pick out what we need here. This is a Terminator. If you've ever seen the Terminator film, you know that the Terminator says, "I will be back," and you know that a start is going to come back with a stop. You must have both. They are rounded rectangles and they say where to start and where to stop. So 1 mark for that Terminator at the end. Then we have a decision. The decision is the driver full-time, yes or no? Decision is in a diamond. The diamond must be labelled. So let's keep track of scores. We've got 1 for the Terminator, 1 for the, I don't think you need to put the, let's see, now you're given that decision already, aren't you? So you're not going to get marks for that. So that decision has to be labelled in terms of yes or no to get both outcomes. You don't get marks for that because that was already there. If the driver is not full-time, so that's part-time drivers, let's look at this. We can calculate, so that's going to be a process. A process is a calculation. It's just a rectangle in flowchart shapes, but we call it a process. So how do we work it out? £50 for every full 100 hours worked. So that means the number of hours worked, integer division by 100. Integer division just means always rounding down, which gives you the full 100 hours worked. For every means multiplied by, and then we need to cap it at a maximum of 300. So hang on, we're going to have 1 point for that process. So is the bonus more than 300? So you're going to have a mark if you have that decision clearly labelled yes or no. Is the bonus more than 300? If it is, we have a process to cap it at 300. There's 4 marks available so far. If not, then we just continue to stop. Now let's talk about full-time drivers. So here, is driver full-time? Yes. We'll have another process. In this case, we're going to calculate the bonus by saying the number of years service times 100. So that's 100 for every means multiplied by every year of service, up to a maximum of 500. So here, if it's more than 500, we need to reduce it. Hang on, I've got confused by how many positive, how many points, how many marks, that's what the word I'm looking for. So a mark for is bonus more than 500. If the bonus is more than 100, then we need a process, a calculation to limit it, to set it to 500. That will give you your 6th mark. And then in both cases, that needs to loop round to your Terminator. There's all sorts of different ways of drawing this. You can have multiple Terminators all over the place, but we want to check that you know how to use diamonds for decisions, that you are labelling the outcomes of those decisions. You're using rectangles for processes where you're calculating stuff, and you're thinking about the sequence, the flow, the direction of the algorithm as you go through each step.